Hey y'all, I'm Angela. Today was the 5th day of NaNoWriMo, and I come to you today in weird angles in a chair. It doesn't look that weird from where you are, but if it's shaky, I apologize. Writing-wise today was really lovely. I finished my first Ledger chapter. He's so much fun to write. I don't fully understand the other character in his scenes with him. So this was like Elodia Ledger stuff, and I don't really understand who she is as a person yet, but I'm starting to, and I'm starting to see how they could work in relation to one another, which is super fun. I also wrote 3,000 words again today. It's nice to make progress. It's nice to feel like this is fun. It's nice to feel like I know where something is going. I'm also sort of looking forward and thinking a lot about sustainability. For this past week, NaNo has basically been all I've done, which is not surprising, I guess. I've been in quarantine for 3.5 months, and I love the people who I live with dearly, but there are only so many things we can do in this house. Plus, I was pretty deliberately taking a week off of school stuff, which now has happened. So next week, I'm going to go back into working quite a bit. I've got a series of lectures that I'm attending, and then also I need to actually start lesson planning again, because Lord knows what the school year is going to look like, but it's going to be challenging. And then also, I want camp to be a sustainable thing. I want part of what I'm doing here to be practicing and experimenting with myself so that writing can be a consistent and joyful part of my life. And so I think that means rolling back my sort of word count goals, which I'm not going to lie is frustrating because I watch a whole lot of people out here doing a whole lot more with a whole lot less time. But I need to be honest with where I'm at. And 2,000 words a day is feeling a little bit consuming. As much as I would love to just be writing all the time all summer, that doesn't seem like it's actually sustainable for me right now. So this week I am going to roll back to 1,500 words as my goal for each day. I've obviously been going over this weekend, and I might keep going over. 1,500 a day will still actually get me to 50K. And then I'm going to try to be doing those in the morning. And the other thing I need to start doing is figuring out sort of more sustainable boundaries around YouTube, because I've also been YouTubing a lot. So both in terms of this space and then also just being on the YouTubes generally. So today was the AuthorTube relay, which was super fun and super cool, and it was really great to see all of these people in relation to one another, and that was all really great. But also the thing that happened that continues to happen for me, which is that at the beginning of the day, it was really joyful and celebratory and affirming for me. I don't know what I mean by affirming, but I do mean that word, apparently. We reverted to the floor because that old angle was haunting me. When the day started, being on YouTube was super positive for me, and I was really enjoying it, and I really loved what we were doing, and I was getting a lot done. And then as the day progressed, if I'm being honest, I went from feeling pretty joyful to feeling kind of sad, which honestly has a lot to do probably with just me and the way that I relate to social media and the amount of time I had been in front of a screen since waking up that morning. So none of this is surprising at all. And I'm so grateful both for NaNo and for this community. But I do need to be reassessing, I think, a little bit my relationship with that as well. Both in terms of this channel and how I'm thinking about what I'm doing here and how many hours a day I'm spending in front of screens. I'm being honest with myself about the fact that in the same way that I probably want to be writing more that makes sense for me every day, I'm going to want to be more active in these spaces that make sense for me. Which is a little bit challenging, I guess, because I don't know if that's what I want to be the case, but it's true. I am also feeling I think just a little bit of frustration around my writing and creative life generally, and I think that has to do with sort of saying that I'm trying to prioritize one thing and then emotionally focusing on something else. And then also there's going to come a point where I need to start taking myself seriously and going for things, by which I mean probably submitting some of my work, at least some of my short stories. And I understand that logically that's not directly connected to YouTube, but in my mind it is. I say that I don't want certain metrics of success, I think, in both of those spaces, and I'm certainly not actively pursuing them, but then I'm sad when they aren't happening, I guess. Part of me is writing my second book that I'm again I don't know that I want to publish this one either, and I think that that's just because it's scary to me right now. Last book I definitely was a practice book. I didn't want to submit for publication, do any of the querying or any of that. I sort of feel I'm in the same space here. I don't even know that I have the words for it yet, but I do know that I need to keep
thinking about like my creative life, I guess, generally, and like what are my goals and what is in my control and what is out of my control, and like at what point do I want to pursue or not pursue things, which I understand is hugely vague. But it's where we're at. Mostly I think I just need some limits. Gonna be trying that, because today started out really great, and then like now I'm like kind of sad, which again is also probably just the fault of quarantine. But yeah, I will, I guess, probably see y'all tomorrow. We'll see. I'm a little concerned about how full Monday is. If I vanish, that's what happened. If you are currently writing either in NaNo or not, feel free to let me know how that's going down below. Have a wonderful day, loves. Happy writing. Be well. All of those things.